Welcome to Preparing to Use and Spread the Basics Approach, Series 2. Before we begin, please take a moment to take the evaluation survey. Below, you will find the QR code and the survey link. Here's a review and some action items. Watch the Maximize Love, Manage Stress video with a parent and discuss it. Here, you will find all of the resources at thebasicshouston.org. Identify examples of the 4 key elements of MLMS, Maximize Love, Manage Stress. And lastly, encourage 2 to 3 families to visit the Basics Houston website to learn more about the principles. In today's session, our goals will be a quick review. Why talk, sing, and point is important. Discuss how to apply and share ideas about talk, sing, and point. Highlight strategies for affirmative conversations with parents. There is a vital need for providers to offer reassurance or validation to parents and caregivers about not being so hard on themselves when it comes to parenting their children. As your patients overcome obstacles, provide them with reassurance that they are building a great life for themselves and their babies. Make it a point this week to tell your patients how great they are. How the basics principles link to development. This slide shows how the basics link to important child development outcomes that are associated with the children's general well-being and success in school. This chart is simplified. In reality, learning is interdisciplinary and individual principles can support development in multiple areas. Maximize love, manage stress, equals secure attachment and self-regulation skills. Talk, sing, and point, language and communication skills. Count, group, and compare, STEM, which is math, science knowledge, and skills. Explore through movement and play, problem solving, social and physical development. And lastly, read and discuss stories, knowledge and imagination skills. Four key elements of Maximize Love, Manage Stress. Here's a quick review of those key themes. Show love and affection. Respond to children in ways that fit their emotions. Develop consistent routines. And practice healthy self-care. Today, we're going to talk about talk, sing, and point. Talk, sing, and point. Why? One key answer, development of loving, strong language and communication skills. Language and communication skills. What they are. The child's ability to understand others and express him or herself through words and gestures. Why they matter. Allow for the exchange of thoughts and feelings and the development of loving relationships. They are fundamental to other forms of learning. As children learn new words, they learn about the things those words represent, and strong predictors of academic success. How they develop. Babies start to soak up sounds beginning before birth. Skills are built through social interactions that are rich with child-directed speech. So how? Key elements of talking. These key elements of talking are important right from birth through age 3 and beyond. Respond. From the beginning, respond to the child's verbal and nonverbal cues, as if they were really talking. Wait. Then give them the time to respond in their own way. Back and forth. Follow their lead and interest to keep the back and forth going. Forms of talk at different ages. Parentese, high-pitched, exaggerated voice that attracts infants' attention. Labeling, provide labels to help child connect words with objects. Questions, asking and answering questions to build vocabulary and understanding. Parentese is a way of talking that is especially important with infants. The slow, exaggerated sounds, high pitch, and repetition of phrases helps them follow along and absorb sound patterns. Between 6 through 18 months, children learn lots of words. They start learning words for things long before they can say those words. During this period, labeling objects helps build their vocabulary. With toddlers between 18 to 36 months, parents can increase the complexity of conversations by using more diverse vocabulary and asking more questions, especially what questions. Examples: who, what, and why. Key elements of singing. Singing, especially songs with rhymes, is an important way that children learn about the sound building blocks that make up words. The fact that they can remember the songs also means that they learn vocabulary words and a sense of accomplishment. Sing songs based on routines throughout the day. Use songs with repetition or rhyming that teach about sound patterns. Find songs that children enjoy and can remember. Here are some popular infant and toddler songs. Which one do you remember? Key elements of pointing. Gesture, especially pointing, is an important part of communication. It accelerates children's development of other language skills, so should not be forgotten about. What? With older infants 6 through 12 months, use pointing and other gestures to help child understand what is being said. Point to objects and name them, especially things that interest the baby like body parts and familiar objects. Why? Pointing helps connect words with objects. Children also start to use pointing and other gestures, like shaking head, outstretched arms, to communicate. How to respond. React the way you would to speech. Use words to reinforce what the child is expressing. When and where to practice talk, sing, and point. Routinely, anytime and any place. Daily routines are a perfect time to talk, sing, and point. Sometimes we use the phrase narrate life. So here's a takeaway. What do strong language and communication skills develop? When does this start? How can you provide reassurance to parents in this area? Strong language and communication skills develop through back and forth interactions that build on child's interests and emerging abilities. Note, this is true from the very beginning, long before infants start to talk. Look for the elements of talk, sing, and point in the following video and be prepared to discuss. Having affirmative conversations with parents. The steps on this slide are key strategies that you can use during a single conversation with a parent or caregiver. At the end of the conversation, the parent should feel supported, recognized for the positive things they are already doing to promote their child's development, and more confident as a result. And they should have some new ideas and specific things they plan to try in the future. Positive opening, affirmation, adding responsive ideas, friendly corrections, modeling, priority planning are all ways to promote affirmative conversations with parents. Positive opening. Signal the assumptions that the parent is actively engaged and wants the best for their child. For example, what's new with Louis? What is he doing that he wasn't doing before? What do you think he's learning these days? Affirmation. No matter what the parent says in response to the positive opening questions, communicate respect for the parent's efforts, including for specific practices that the parent is using. Adding responsive ideas. Be responsive to the parent's goals by calling attention to additional actions that they can take to achieve their goals even more effectively, including by following the basics principles. Friendly corrections. Be respectful in proposing alternatives to beliefs or behaviors that may not be in the child's best interest. For example, there's another way to think about that. Or, one thing that a lot of parents find helpful is modeling. Respectfully model for the parent how to implement specific behaviors and practices. Showing all or part of a basics video to highlight a particular issue is one way of modeling. Priority planning. Drawing upon the basics principles, help the parent identify a single action he or she will take more often. For example, I will talk more with my child while we ride in the bus or train. I will ask my child more questions during bedtime book reading. I will watch more carefully for times that my baby wants to exchange back and forth sounds and be more responsive. If there are any questions or comments, please put them in the chat. So here's some homework. Watch Talk, Sing, Point video with a parent and discuss it. Click on For Parents and Caregivers to find videos easily on thebasics.org. Review the strategies for having an affirmative conversation and put at least 2 strategies into place. Now we've come to the end. Please take a moment to do the post-survey evaluation. Below, you will find the QR code and survey link. So here are the basics principles. Maximize love, manage stress, talk, sing, and point, count, group, and compare, explore through movement and play, read and discuss stories,